When I was 5 years old, my mom found me in the backyard crying and crying. I was hollering over something in my hand. And and she was looking at me, and it was this loud buzzing sound. And she said she pulled my fingers open, and there was a little bumblebee that I decided to grab. And it had flown away, and of course I had a couple stingers in my hand. And I was kind of bummed out about that. My mom told me that's not the first time that happened. I did that a couple of times when I was a little kid. So hopefully I've gotten a little smarter in the last few years of being a grown-up. And I'm going to start off with these tutorials about how to make a comic book page. Let's cut over to the script and give you a rundown on that, and then we'll come back here. Okay, here is the document script for Mayfield 8. The arrangement is a thumbnail on the right side, the big line going across it that separates the words here from the previous page to the next page. Inside this thumbnail are the panels and the panel arrangement. That corresponds to the panel numbers over here. First there's a page, then there's the panel level that shows you what's going in there. That's the next level. Next level down from that is whoever's talking or making noise, narration, sound effect, biker in this case, Joe, Mary, Bill, Peter Parker, and then whatever they're saying or wherever the sound is. This is what goes in the comic book, copied and pasted word for word. And as you can see then, we got panel 1, panel 2, 3, and they correspond with the action that's happening in here. Okay, so we take that script that you saw a moment ago and we break this down into a series of sequentials done in pencil. Real quick aside here, I just use a regular mechanical pencil with a standard number 2 lead. It's what size? Like a 0.5 millimeter. It's pretty common. And then it's always good to have a nice eraser. This is a kind of a pencil looking thing, but it holds a skinny eraser down it. So it's good to have both penciling and erasing to kind of work out your composition. A lot of times you'll draw something, not like it, erase it, go back and make adjustments. This right here is going to be Angelina reading her copy of The Exorcist, which was a huge hit in the 1970s. Behind her will be a biker wanting a beer, talking some Spanish to her, and then she just says, "You don't have to do that," and hands him the beer, giving him a put-down name. And then down in this panel, he's confused, and Lenny's introduced in this panel going, she means a good friend. And then one-on-one, we'll have Lenny and Angelina talking side to side, and she says, "You want Jorge, he's in the back." Down here, I'll have a close-up shot of a billiard ball being struck, and ball going in, the guy's winning the game, boom, he's laughing at him in the background. Will be Lenny going to the back room, and then a point of view from inside the back room, the door cracking open, and Lenny's introducing himself. Okay, you heard the description of what this page would have, and so I have here an example of that very same page that I scanned, and I worked it in pencil. To be honest, I boosted the contrast a little bit so you can see it better. So it looks like black, almost charcoal lines, but it's not really this dark. But through Photoshop, I was able to make it a little bit more dark. I'm going to show you my process here, and I thought the easiest way was to have the top two panels fully penciled in and rendered ready for ink, and then the middle section and maybe possibly the bottom corner here kind of roughed in and a little rougher, until finally the last two here just spending just literally a few seconds getting some ideas down and working things up. Let me start at the beginning here. This is Angelina the barmaid, and there's a guy in the background who wants beer. Little aside here, I drew her while referencing previous pictures I drew of her. I did one thumbnail here, I'll show you, of her, and just kind of getting the flavor still of this character, trying to stay consistent. And then the book she's reading, that again using the internet and searching that book out. I remember seeing that book in the 70s when I was in junior high school. It was a big deal, so that's part of the story. And then let's see, pull back here again, another character. I drew him enough where I didn't really use a reference picture, but I just threw it in here just for shits and giggles. That's Lenny right there, and there's a previous image I made of him. Okay. And then finally, I have on my computer photo booth. It's a real dorky picture taking thing. Or you can use your camera, your phone. I have a friend while posing, your friend's posing or you're posing. Shots like this, hands are really hard for me. And I don't know how hands are drawn when they're doing certain things. So like this, I literally, I'll show you what I did. I just found a stick. That's not a cue stick at all. And so I can move that around. Yeah, there we go. But it's the pose, that I want. I took that shot, and that's how I figured out, oh, okay, that's how the fingers are arranged. And I just kind of copied what I saw there, and because I would have never thought of drawing this. So, as a little aside, let me move on ahead here, not take too much time up. This is how panels should be. They start looking like they're almost inked in. You're erasing away any fussy little lines. Any grayscale is gone. You're trying to up the contrast. You're trying to make things either black or white. And in here is a real nice, if you can see this, it's a real nice partial silhouette. That window back there, it's come back, is really like has these shuttered blinds, like these wooden slats. So there might be light leaking through it, but the light source in this panel is coming from the right over there. And then again, light source, we're flipping point of view outside the bar counter. There's that book again. And then once more flip back, and there's the guy with the 2 beers. And I draw little circles up here real quick as like where the word balloons are going to go. In this panel number 3, there is not a whole lot of talking, so I know they're going to be fairly small. Here's a panel where there's going to be more talking, and I know for a fact that it's going to be her, then him saying something, then her. So my cadence here, I'm going to imagine a balloon up here and a balloon up here, and then her response, a balloon down here. So I didn't really bother drawing any detail on the bar counter here. And then finally, like I said, there's that pool cue going in, like a cutaway, a scene happening at the bar. Down here will be my character Lenny up here making his way to the back room, and the pool game concluding. Then Lenny's down here looking here. Now I'm going backwards here. Like, this is how the page starts. After I draw the rectangles, I just draw really rough ideas, getting angles down, not set in stone. I might want to think about things a little bit close up. That's pretty good. I'm keeping that. And by the time I'm in this kind of level of execution, I pretty darn well have everything figured out that I want as far as spatial relationships. Notice the head here, Angelina. Always a good idea to draw the skull, draw the cranium, draw all the body parts before you start adding hair. You have a much better representation. There's another trick I'm going to show you in a later tutorial. It's real simple about masking off the panel so you can keep on drawing beyond it. That's what I did in this panel here, number 2. I'll show that later, how I made this literally look like a photograph that's cropped out of something larger than it is. So anyway, that is real quick tutorial on penciling, and next time we come around I'll start showing the stages of inking. Thank you very much for watching my tutorial. The comic book tip of the day with Tim Larson. Make sure to subscribe below to the YouTube channel to see more of these. You can also visit my website. I'll be throwing a link up for that, and a link to my newsletter to let you know ahead of time when things will be coming back. Be interested in your feedback and your comments. Subjects that you would like me to cover, you can put them down in the comments below, or again you can email me back, and maybe what you would like to do next. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you. Bye.